Al-Gruul, also known as the Builders. They come from constellation sculptor. They derive from an ancient race of reptilians that has gone extinct. They are specialists at building ships and other devices needed for deep space traveling. They are also space travelers themselves, searching for new raw materials. They can live up to 230 years. Last seen near Tokyo, Japan, in 2005. Kili-Joker. This race comes from the constellation Vela, near the star Suhail al-Mulaf. They grow to 2 meters high and live up to 200 years. They can shape-shift, but are incredibly hard to detect. When they do, the only thing they cannot change is the size and color of their eyes. They are one of the oldest known alien races. They do abduct humans. Pleiadians. This race come from solar systems surrounding the Pleiades stars. More precisely from planet Terra, near the star Taygeta. They are often associated with spiritual growth. They can grow up to 2.5 meters. They practice sex cultivation. The distinct difference between their sexual expressions and their sensual emotions. Their source of transportation is their intergalactic spaceships, which are also known as beam ships. Although they still visit Earth, they have mainly remained silent since 10.000 AD. They are one of the oldest race of aliens in the known universe. They continue to develop the mental skills necessary to eventually reach their goal, an even higher spiritual state. Killam. They come from constellation Volans. The sightings of this race on Earth are rare. They are a mystery. It is said that they were forbidden to visit Earth around the year 1000 BC, but that they did not stop coming to our planet completely, because of their allies, the race Mater. Last seen on Earth, December 1989. Kurs. Believed to be directly related to the race Anunnaki. They come from planet Dilamunt. They are behind the story of Enlil and Ninlil. They are aka gods of lands. They were directly involved in the development of the human race. After centuries away from Earth, they have recently returned. It is written on the Arb that their own rules is among the visitors. This time they are not leaving anymore. They will have an important role on the years to come. They spend time immersed in a gold precious liquid, presumably that extends their lifespan. Havhanui. Chondras. They come from Galaxy Sexton's dwarf SPH. First visited Earth in 934 AD. In what is now modern Romania. They often abduct and kill humans. They drain and drink the blood of humans, as well as the blood of animals. They are behind many abductions, animal and human. They are responsible for the myth of vampires. Several governments know and accept their actions. The human bodies they abduct and use are never returned. Last seen on Earth, Scotland in 1996. Meseriac. They come from the constellation Camelopardalis. From the 1300s to early 1900s Gregorian calendar, they were not allowed to leave their planet by other alien races. They are a very violent and predatory alien race. They have been involved with the alien race Mater as allies. They grow to 1.6 meters. Last seen on Earth, August 2001. Al-Gruulix. They come from the constellation Cetus, near Deneb Kaitos Shamali. Although they are often confused with reptilians, they do not share anything with them except the appearance. Their height is around 2 meters and can live up to 350 years. This is one of the 21 mentioned races that have more than 2 genders, sexes. This race has 8 different genders and all of them can reproduce when in sexual contact with each other, no matter which. The purpose for their visits to Earth is unknown. Last spotted near Lima, Peru, December 2004. Messengers. Probably the most enigmatic of all races, not much is known about them. They visit Earth every 300 years or so. The next visit is supposed to happen any time now. They do not reveal themselves. They do not make any direct contact with humans. They leave carvings in rocks, drawings, writings, and symbols engraved in historical monuments. Their ships have the shape of a teardrop and are silver in color. Rame. A very peaceful race. Coexist with us. According to the book, they are the ones that created the Maya civilization by taking humans from different places on Earth and place them in South America. They have a very scientific temperament. They taught the Mayans about astronomy and time. They left the Mayas and the planet when this culture was at its highest in splendor. After they left, the Mayas started the sacrifices and blood offerings in their name. This race has visited us many times after that. They come from Capella, constellation Auriga. They visited last in 2001 in Bora Bora. Movie Anthan Kafik. The Shining Ones. They come from the constellation Vulpecula. They've met with at least 2 American presidents and many USSR and Russian high-ranking leaders. They exchanged technology for the freedom to conduct abductions. They had a big role in Siberian and Tibetan culture. They still have bases in those areas, hidden inside the north face of the mountains. They have colonized over 40 planets, all outside our solar system. So far. Rat. This is the race described as the one that visited Earth the least. Only 5 times. Their short presence in the Middle East created the belief in the jinn, or genies, in the Quran and Islamic mythology. According to Muslims, they inhabit the unseen world and dimensions beyond the visible universe of humans. But in fact, they stopped visiting Earth because their immune system could not cope with the Earth's fauna and flora. Last recorded visit, 712 AD. The Invisibles. This race has been known to be seen in very high security places. They are almost completely invisible to the naked eye. Both the Russian and USA military developed technology to track them down on radar. But not the beings. 3 things are known. 1. They leave a sour smell when they are around. 2. When they are by windows you can see a smudge-like figure, ghostly-like. Have been caught on CCTV. 3. When dogs start barking with no apparent reason, they most likely are nearby, them or reptilians. They come from constellation Mensa. Their purpose is unknown. Al-Mahiyuk Strat 163. After a reputed lost battle in ancient India, against reptoids. Exact date and race was not specified. They were forced to leave our planet, which they had been visiting for about 200 years. But they have resumed their visits since 1948. As far as the book says, this race is technologically extremely advanced. Their ships for the most part are invisible and they wear some kind of suit that makes them invisible as well. They come from Jupiter. Ainana. This race are what we call Martians. They come from the constellation Gemini. They have had bases on Mars for thousands of years, where they mine a sort of gold-like mineral. First recorded visit to Earth was in 1235 BC, in Japan. According to the book, they were last seen on Earth in Madagascar, 2003. Injigutsk, aka the Tall White. This is the race that has bases on the Moon. They mine there. Book does not reveal what. They use slaves to do it. No mention of human slaves though. However, these slaves are extremely well taken care of. They try at all costs to keep their operations secret. They are in almost permanent contact with the Russian, Chinese and USA governments. Although they do not look like humans, they have the ability to look like one. Many people have seen them. And even talked with them. They are what we call MIB, Men in Black. The real MIB. Kilomata RR. This race comes from the constellation Crux, near Gacrux. It is one of the races harder to track down or to spot. Both the Russian and the USA military have developed a special camera and radar system that allows to spot these beings when among us. Even then, they have only been found around 8 times. The purpose for their visits is unknown. The only known fact is that they are sighted around the area of the Bermuda Triangle. Race 2017. These have only contacted humans one time, in 1935. They come from galaxy UDFJ 39,546,284. Estimated distance of about 13.2 billion light-years, yes. Billion. They travel using some sort of wormhole that allows them to bend space. The only report of their presence was in the former USSR in 1935. According to the ARB, they spoke a kind of a Slavic dialect. They left a written message of about 10 sentences. The sentences are on the ARB but all blacked out, except this. 2017 to 2022. They were tall, blonde, had long hair and smelled like flowers. Elmanuk. They come from the constellation Grus, near Star Alnair. They are considered to be one of the most peaceful races. They created the alliance of the 5 races but are not part of it. Those are 5 races that protect our planet from darker races. According to the ARB, they coined the sentence 5 universes, 2,500 species, 1 race. Last seen on Earth on September 2002. Gigantic. According to the ARB, this race has contacts with 3 world governments, but not the USA, Russia or any other main ones. They have been visiting us for 3,000 years and are violent in nature. They come from the constellation Horologium, and are allies with the race Mater. Gigantic. They travel from constellation Indus. They are known for their peacemaking abilities as well as their technology. The first sighting on Earth goes back to 1500 BC. According to the ARB, they met with JFK and other world leaders. Have not been seen on Earth since JFK's death. The ARB says that in 1965 they gave a message to all governments with nuclear capability. The contents? Unknown. Dorsey. Small creatures no more than 0.5 meters. Visited planet Earth 250 times. Arrived from the star system Cassiopeia. They have 2 home planets. They eat other species of aliens and also humans. They have been in a state of war with one other alien species for 2 billion years. Last time the race Dorsey visited Earth was in November 2001 in the Alps. Magell. known to be a very peaceful race. They have 2 permanent bases somewhere in South America. They are 100% nocturnal. They do not interact with humans and are shy. They harvest rodents and insects by the thousands every month. Reason? Unknown. Last seen near Oaxaca, Mexico in 2003. At least 3 of them have been under Brazilian military custody for over 12 years. They are visited by their own species every 20 years. The next visit should happen in 2016. A card. This race comes from the constellation Sextans. They crashed one of their ships near the town of Varginha, in Brazil in 1996. 2 of the occupants are under USA custody. They paid a huge amount of money for them. According to the ARB, they have the fastest ships among all alien races. Last seen on Earth, February 2002. Near Varginha, Brazil. Again. Mater. They have 2 home planets. Constellation Megape. Same height as humans. Race of parasites. Visited Earth for the first time in the prehistoric period. Kidnapping of humans is carried out openly. Wanted to colonize Earth. Did not happen, yet, due to the protection of other alien races. Race of hermaphrodites. Their lifespan is 120 years. Colonized 26 planets. On Earth they've kidnapped about 5,000 men. Visited Earth about 200 times. Last visit was in September 2006. Dries. Their growth is 2.5 meters. Complex structure of the skull. Visited planet Earth 20 times. Purpose, kidnapping people, reproduction. Turning them into slaves. They have stolen 520 people. They arrive from the 3rd star in constellation Cetus. They have 2 home planets. Colonized 40 planets with the help of slaves. 10 planets were taken by force. They work with 3 more races. Eat protein foods, mostly animals. Not ready to mentally interact with other races. Their 2 home planets' chemical composition is similar to Earth. They are supposed to reveal themselves to mankind in 2022. Leg. Small creatures growing to 70 centimeters. Come from the 6th star in the constellation Coma Berenices. They have 3 home planets. Colonized 10. They are one of the earliest aliens to visit Earth. It was them that started the stories about elves. They have abducted over 10 million humans throughout history. Last time they visited our planet was in January 2006, in New Zealand. The group consisted of 20 individuals. SMAD. They come from the constellation Beta Ray. Planets Vok. Their spaceships have a conical shape. Their appearance resembles that of humans. They only have 6 spaceships left. Colonized 20 planets. 18 of which were inhabited by other races. First visited Earth 2,500 years ago. Extremely interested and intrigued by our religious beliefs. A race that is considered to be weakening. Gracely. About a man's height. Covered with short silky hair. Visited Earth 12 times. Have 2 home planets on the Virgo star system. Their first visit happened in the era of the pharaohs of Egypt. About 3,000 years ago. They spent 10 uninterrupted years there. Djoser Pyramid, Egypt, was built in their honor. They have watched our development for the past 200 years. Only 6 of them travel in each spaceship. Last visits to Earth took place in July 2002 and February 2004. Tengri. Live on planet Tengri, Galactic Sector 56. Star System, F1342. They live underground. planet Tenggara is home to 10 million of their species. Visited planet Earth for the first time about 10,000 years ago. They do not need an atmosphere or water to survive. They have one spaceship that can accommodate 5 million of them. Throughout time they have had several contacts with governments on Earth. Anunnaki arrived from the planet Nibiru. Their planet enters our solar system every 4,000 years. And not every 3,500 years, or so, as commonly accepted. They resemble the likes of men, but they are bigger in stature. According to the book, when they arrived on Earth, there were already other powerful beings on Earth, with supernatural powers. The Anunnaki defeated them and became the new rulers. They genetically engineered the human species in order to have a race of slaves at their disposal. Samael and Lilith were the Anunnaki's king and queen. They were not aware of the presence of reptilians on Earth. They only cooperate with on other alien race. The Zeta Reticuli. The Zeta are not to be confused with the race Mater or the race Solipsi Rai, aka the Grey. Eventually the Anunnaki left Earth, reasons unknown. However, before they left they created a subspecies of the Zeta. This subspecies eventually became the rulers of Egypt, aka pharaohs, until the reptilians, by means of infiltration, ended their reign. The Anunnaki aka Anunnakin were the beings that gave birth to such legends as giants. They will return one day, however. That date is still a mystery. Athim. They come from constellation Lyra. They call themselves Athimspiansi. Small in stature. Blue spotty skin. Their planet is called Crimea I Petri. Their technical level of development is such that they can get here from their planet in 20 Earth minutes. They do not need oxygen. Largest percentage of their planet's atmosphere is hydrogen. Colonized 10 planets in non-violent ways. When they are close to humans they cannot be seen. If they don't want to. But the humans will feel a certain amount of unexplained anxiety. Their spaceships are small and sphere-like. They visit us to study human deviation. This activity is important to them in determining the further development of the human race. Solipsi Rai. Harmonious race in all aspects. They have one main leader. His name is Martian. Their civilization is 2 billion years old. Once they were on the same level of development as ourselves. Solipsi Rai race has no colonies. They are focused only on the development of other planets. They come from constellation Cygnus. They do have one powerful weapon that keeps all other hostile and violent races in order. Race Mater lost 5 spaceships because of it. They say that we, human race, still have 645 options for the future of our planet. But the correct option will depend on our ability to move people into space. They are race Solipsi Rai, but we call them the Grey. Pugsky. This race, unknown origin, according to the ARB, was very influential in the development of several Central and South American civilizations. They had, at one time, over 2,000 members living among the humans in those regions. Once most of them left, leaving only 25 behind, humans killed them. They have never returned to Earth again. X5, Ticket. This race was created as slaves to, and by, the race Mater. They are sent to sensitive regions as messengers and to conduct abductions. They can live forever as they are not organic. They have the ability to fly ships and, programmed, rational thinking. Last seen on Earth July 1997 near Brisbane, Australia. Tanzania. This race comes from the constellation Perseus, by the Gorgonia Secunda star. According to the ARB, this race has caused many deaths on Earth. They an extremely advanced race. One of their interests is the reaction of other races to tragedies and cataclysms. They are often seen near tragedies, such as the Hindenburg disaster and the Titanic sinking. They can live up to 500 years and have the height of around 1.7 meters. Other alien races try not to make contact with them. Last seen on Earth, January 1999. Eric. Peaceful race. They come from constellation of Phaeagus, near Starry Prior. Their purpose is unknown. They mostly are passers-bys, using Earth only as a stop before going somewhere else. They do not interact with humans and are mostly nocturnal. Their ships emit a bright orange light and octagonal in shape. Last sighting was near London, UK, in May 2003. Victory. They travel from constellation Pavo. They are a well-respected peaceful race, with, presumed, mystical powers. They have been visiting us since 1000 AD. They do not abduct humans. They do not interact with humans. They can live up to 2,000 years. Last seen on Earth, July 1995 near Odessa, Ukraine. Strong. They come from constellation Ursa Minor. Stromes are invertebrates and coelenterates. Average height is 2 meters. Vegetation is of great significance to the Strom culture. 200 visits to Earth. Main reason, to study the flora of our planet. This race is acting with extreme caution. Rarely seen by people. First visited Earth at the end of the last ice age. Stromes have 20 colonies, located across the galaxy. Their ships have the shape of an octagon. Bilny. Come from the constellation Aquila, star raised. Lifespan of 150 years. Colonized 3 planets. Their ships frequently seen in the northern Africa and Sahara region. Have been visiting Earth since 3rd century BC. Do not conduct abductions. Only interest on Earth, minerals. Mitaili. They are distant cousins of the reptoid species, but are not reptilians. They come from constellation Serpens. Star Alert. Visited Earth for the first time in June 13, 1965. Despite the appearance, they are not considered threatening to humans. Most ships seen over the South Pole belong to them. Reptilians. The most known and feared of the reptoid species. Have been permanently on Earth for 15,000 years. Arrived from the constellation Draco. Have colonized over 500 planets, by means of infiltration within governments, and other leadership positions. In Earth's case they do not need to infiltrate. As mankind evolved, so did their power increase. They are considered one of the most technological advanced species, but they prefer to work in the shadows. They have supernatural powers, such as 1. Shape-shifting, 2. Interdimensional traveling, 3. Power to become invisible. They have 3 main UFO/ships bases on Earth. 1. In so-called Bermuda Triangle area. 2. Somewhere off the coast of Denmark. 3. Somewhere off the coast of New Zealand. They will never leave. Alcavita. Have over 5,000 ships. Have colonized over 100 planets on their own. Considered as one of the parasite races. Abduction of humans are frequent and ongoing. Purpose, unknown. Do not like to interact with other alien races. Aggressive race. Come from the constellation Perseus. Suspected to have been involved in several airplane crashes. Most known case, Korean Airlines Flight 007 flight over Russia, USSR, in 1983. The Russians took and accepted the blame for it. Last seen on Earth, September 1, 2001 in Canada. Negumac. Considered newcomers to Earth. First visit, 1989. They exercise control over the minds of captive people. Abducted humans, which they use for unknown purposes after their release. These were the real inspiration for the alien creation, in the 1996 movie Independence Day. They are one of the most ancient alien races in existence. As far as we know, they are also the race that most Earth governments fear. Zeta Reticuli, aka Shambhala. Not to be confused, as usual, with the race Mater or with the race Solipsirae aka the Grey. The Zeta arrived from the constellation Nets. They were, and are, the representatives of the Anunnaki on Earth. The Anunnaki genetically engineered a subspecies of the Zetas, in order for them to become more men-like, in appearance. Eventually they became the pharaohs of Egypt. The most well-known of them was Akhenaten, who was removed from power by reptilians. The Zetas have been on Earth for 4,000 years. They were the first hybrids to be engineered. Still until today up to 30% of them have deformities. Sexual characteristics in hybrid Zetas are as distinguishable as in humans. The Zetas still remain in two forms: the original and the hybrid. Their location on Earth is unknown. Terrace. Their origin is unknown. They are often seen near or flying by volcanoes, identified due to the exquisite nature of their ships. They have never contacted humans and there are no report of violence or abductions. Even though they are discreet, their presence on Earth is frequent and they do not try to hide from view. There are several contradictory reports about their appearance. Last sighted off the coast of Norway, in 2000. Puratov, Ilamu. This race is mostly seen around the Oregon area and the American Northwest. They seem to be interested in our oceans and are known to have USOs. In the 1980s and the 1990s they had close calls, crashes, with U.S. Navy ships. They are peaceful and mostly nocturnal. Last sighting was in 2000 near San Francisco. X1Z. Only sighted 2 times on Earth. They often abduct and perform medical experiments on human. They have been visiting Earth for 500 years. The only 2 sightings happened near Elazig, Turkey. Caravali. Known to be extremely dangerous to humans sometimes, as well as other alien races as well. They come from constellation Chamaeleon. They have been involved in conflict with other races for over 500 years, our calendar. They do not visit Earth very often. Last sighting was near New Orleans, USA, in 1976. They live up to 150 years, get as tall as 3 meters, and have 4 arms. Elfaf. They come from the constellation Bootes, near star Acellus Primus. They resemble certain kinds of greys but are not related. Their species have 4 different sexes, genders, and are known to be benevolent. The purpose of their visits is unknown, but they do have a special interest on raw materials, seen near mines. Last sighting was near San Isidro de El General, Costa Rica, in 2005. Matrax. Despite their appearance, these are not considered to be dangerous to humans. They can live up to 400 years, and come from the constellation Delphinus, near Suwalosen. They have been visiting Earth for at least 4,000 years, mainly during the 19th century. Last sighting on Earth dates November 1996. Near Marseille, France. Hollywood used them as inspiration for the alien race in Independence Day. TSAR-3. Their origin is unknown, but there are reports stating that it takes them near to Earth years to get this planet. Extinct reptoid race. Do not possess the same level of technology or unknowledge as other races visiting Earth. In 1977 or 1978, near Siena, Italy, 2 of their species were captured after landing behind a church on ruins. 3 days later they were transferred to a U.S. air base still in Italy and finally taken to an undisclosed location where, supposedly, they still remain. Contacts have mentioned somewhere in the South Pacific or in another U.S. base near Japan. The USSR Apus-3 was able to get a hold of one video recording of this species. Last sighting, January 3, 2001, near Victoria, Canada. Elena. Small elf-like aliens. Supposedly this is the race that started the myth of elves. Elf. They are sighted often in the Germanic countries, deep in the forest. They are not known to be lethal to humans, however they are known as being pranksters. It seems that they enjoy scaring humans when these get too close. It has been reported that they have lured humans away from their cars in order to steal their possessions. Once the humans are far away from their vehicles and they already have stolen what they wanted, they frighten them, which makes the humans leave the location. Last sighting, near München, Germany in December 2001. Council of Five. Very little is known about the 5 alien races that are part of the Council of Five. These races have been protecting Earth and humans for as long as there are alien records of it. An alien race reported that the Council of Five last met on Earth in 1944. Alien races in the Council is as following: Orella, Igaret, Imrther, Jinvo, Rudin. Council of Five. 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 Orella, Igaret, Imrther, Jinvo,